We've been looking at the damage from the Bahamas. It is horrific. And as people there are picking up the pieces, they're also struggling for the basics: food, clean water. You heard the story from Jen. And our hearts are going out to everyone that has been affected by this hurricane. And like a lot of people, we want to help. We want to do what we can. The question is, how do we do it in a way that really helps? Unfortunately, in times like these, scammers take advantage of the goodwill of others. We have attorney James Giardina here to talk about it.
Good morning,
James.
Thanks for having me.
Sad that we even have to do this.
It is.
But where do you start? If you're not going with somebody like the Red Cross or the Salvation Army, how do you vet in charity?
Well, you know, there's a few different ways. There's so many different charities, right? But just because there's a lot of different charities, there's a lot of companies that, and non-for-profit companies too, that rank charities, and they rank them by different things. What percentage of the money that you donate actually goes to, let's say, paying the CEO versus what percentage goes to fundraising versus what percentage actually goes to the victims, you know, to actually help. So there's a few websites. The Better Business Bureau has the Wise Giving Alliance, and what they do is they assign a letter grade A through F to every charity for what percentage makes it to the victims. There's also another website called GuideStar, another non-for-profit that it ranks all of the charities, you know, all the ones that it can, because there's more that not every charity is going to appear on this list. There's the Wise Giving Alliance, there's Charity Navigator, and there's GuideStar. There's a few other ones, and if you just, you know, put your search terms in for vet a charity, you're going to find it.
You know, it's sad to think about too, but if you think about it, these smaller organizations, they mean so well, and they may well have the resources. We saw it with Puerto Rico, sadly, these people who own planes or who have friends who can donate.
Oh my
goodness.
But
the problem is when those pilots got to the runways, nobody knew what to do with it. Nobody knew, you know, and so you have to be really careful about that.
That's right.
Too.
And, you know, people mean well, right? So I saw recently what happened in the Bahamas. There was a guy with a boat, and he was on Facebook, and he had I think he may have even had a Kickstarter or something like that, and he was telling people, I'm going to load up my boat with all the bottled water and snacks that I can, so bring your boat. And then his plan was to take his boat over to the Bahamas. Well, in the middle of a hurricane with all the waves, okay, so first of all, he's putting himself at risk. Second of all, he's diverting resources from real charities.
It's true.
Right? Third of all, you don't really know, you know, people may mean well, but ultimately, he may end up needing rescue himself, getting in the way. There's no way that a guy with a boat is going to compete with a Coast Guard helicopter, right? And if he needs help, now he's taking resources away from the people that actually are victims of the hurricane. And
what about the recourse for the people who are taking advantage? What about the scammers?
All right, well, first of all, it's going to depend on how you pay, right? So there are so many scammers. There's so many different scams. Now, if you pay with cash, forget about it. You're not getting your money back. You can report them to the police. You can call. There's the FTC is a website, ftc.com/complaint. You can complain about your scam. The Attorney General, Ashley Moody, Attorney General of Florida, has a hotline set up. I think it's 866-9-NO-SCAMS. You can call that number. But if you've given
does justice ever come to the scammers?
Well, it does if you're big enough, right? You've got to be big. But nowadays, people are smart. They're spoofing numbers. They're getting credit card numbers over the phone. And by the time, you know, they're asking for checks, they're asking for cash, and the big scam, the gift cards, well, you know what? You're out of your money. You're not getting that money back.
All right. James Giardina, thanks so much. We got to leave it there.
It was my pleasure.
Sad. I appreciate it. All right. We'll leave it there, and don't forget it's Ask a Lawyer morning here. The attorneys are going to be here for about another 15 minutes or so. So call. The numbers are scrolling on the bottom of your screen.